F1, we are back live. We have sorted out the glitch that we have. Are looking set and ready to go racing out here in Suzuka. Well, some of the drivers who might have crashed out in true fashion will be thanking their lucky stars that we restarted this race. The car condition, and we will soon get to racing here in Japan. Yes, in a matter of minutes, we will be back to see how Seakley does. If Seakley will take full advantage of that pole position, if Mello the Mello will give Seakley something to think about, if Zotal will be able to hang on from that P3 spot to possibly punch back and possibly, well, reclaim the lead as far as the championship is concerned. What can you do, Zotal, with just 3 races to go, including this one here? Kushubile, as South Africans say. Ziyabuya, it's going down. Well, what can you do? Of course, Josh, aka Damnesia, started in P4, and, well, in the previous glitchy race, slid down by quite a number of places. But Josh will be looking to take full advantage. He'll be looking to come back and, well, hopefully get himself back, you know, in a podium place here. What a day that will be for Josh, aka Damnesia, in that Alfa Romeo. We have just seconds to go until we go straight into 27 laps of racing out here in Japan. What a day we will have. Ben Kobe, welcome back to the comment section. We see you all out here. And, yeah, we are due to go live pretty soon. Will we have rainy weather? Well, the drivers will be the first to know, and they will then have to set up their cars accordingly. But there's so much to think about. The likes of Mello the Mello and Zotal and Romeo were having a long practice session earlier, and they were trying out all sorts of different tire compounds. But of course, in the race, anything can happen here in this race. We cannot wait. It is just a matter of about 10 seconds or so before the race starts. What are your predictions? Who do you think can take full advantage out here in Japan? Do you fancy Seakley, the championship leader? What about Zotal? Do you think Mello the Mello can do something and give the likes of Seakley and Zotal a 1-2 punch to take this race out here in Japan? Who do you see taking this race victory? Well, let us know. Ha! And knowing the gods of this game, they have brought the reins straight back to the start of this race. We do not know if it'll be a rainy race throughout, but all these drivers will have to contend with wet weather in the beginning. Well, only they will know whether or not it's wet enough to go with the full wet set of compound tires, or if it'll be another start with a set of intermediate tires here, which of course are for lighter rain, or indeed, you know, tracks which are slightly wetter than, you know, the full wet tires would demand. Well, let me know. Let us know what your expectations are. Of course, throughout this race, we'll be keeping a close eye on who you think is or should be the driver of the day, and who you think will indeed take this race win. And of course, after tonight's race, we will have just 2 more races to go before the champion of Tier 1 is crowned. And of course, at the end of the season, you can watch the playoffs, the Tier 2 drivers who will be hoping to make it into this Premier League of Breakaway F1. You'll be watching them make their fresh attempts to make it in here. Well, we cannot wait to see how it all pans out here. We're in Japan, and we'll be getting going pretty shortly. You'll be watching them. Well, it's taken a while to load. We hope it is definitely not another glitch here as far as this race lobby is concerned. But we're keeping a close eye. Well, finally we have the countdown clock. Just a matter of seconds to go here. 15 seconds it says on my watch before we get back to racing once again. Out here on Breakaway F1, the Tier 1 racers are in Japan. Seaflay leading the championship, followed closely by Zotile. It is the only time that South Africans look forward to the lights going out, and this time they are out. The start of this race, Melo Lamelo is frozen on the start line, but let's see how Seaflay does. Damnesia! Josh! Damnesia takes full advantage, and he has the lead into this first corner. Josh, aka Damnesia. Damn, Josh, what a move that was. He takes the first position from Seaflay, and look at that gap already. 8/10 as the virtual safety car comes out. Melo Lamelo, who was frozen on the start line, perhaps he's the one having the technical difficulties which have brought out the virtual safety car. As things look, it does not look that we have lost or that we've had retirements here. Oh my word, what a start we've had. I just want to make sure that all the info that you want is visible here. And what a start it's been under VSC. Josh Damnesia has taken full advantage here of the start out here in Japan. Seaflay has slipped one place and currently in P2. Zotile has not had a change in position. He qualified third. He finds himself third under VSC. Selby, that would be Josh's teammate, is currently in P4 as things stand. Spizozo is currently in P5. Van Kobe saying this is so unfair to Melo. Seemingly, well, the glitchy start that Melo seems to have had, absolutely heartbreaking. Melo worked so hard to qualify in that P2 spot, gave Seaflay and the like so much to think about, and now Melo finds himself at the back. But let's just see exactly how things look as far as position change is concerned. As you can see, Melo was frozen at the start there, losing 15 places, finding himself now at the back of this grid. Damnesia gained 3 places to take the lead of this race. Bongs gained 4, but currently finds himself in P6. We're back racing now. The VSC has ended, and of course, in these these wet conditions, you're trying to keep a balance of pushing your car as much as you can without, of course, spinning out and the like. Loveness has gone into the pits, perhaps needs an early wing change as things stand, but we're watching Josh, aka Damnesia, fighting for his life against Seaflay here in lap 2 of 27. Damnesia has Seaflay to think about, Zotile to think about, and their teammate Selby to think about, who is a little bit further behind. But what a start it was from Josh. Full advantage. Sapiso predicts that Josh is going to choke again. Well, of course, we know Josh has had some rotten luck in recent times, but this time has had an absolutely scorching, storming start. And Josh is no stranger to qualifying well, to qualifying among the top runners. And this time finds himself leading. This time finds himself with clean air in Japan. Nobody is in front of Josh as we are looking to finish this second lap of 27. Seaflay currently kicking themselves, having let that lead slip. Of course, in these slippery conditions, Zotile is now in P3. Probably with a face scrunched up in concentration, as Zotile is looking to make this championship, well, something that is not necessarily so simple for Seaflay. Zotile is looking to avenge the top runners and possibly take this race win. But knowing Seaflay, well, you're going to have your work cut out, Zotile. As things stand, it is Damnesia, Josh in P1, Seaflay second, Zotile is third. Selby is currently in 4th place. Spizoso is in 5th place, having gained 1. Bongs, huge gain, or a huge, advantage as far as the start of this race is concerned, gaining 4 places, currently finds himself in P6. M. Fundo is currently in 7th, and then an AlphaTauri. Romeo, aka Mandla, is in 8th place currently. Nick is in P9. Can you hold on, Nick, and possibly, secure these points for Mercedes? You've gained 5 places since the start of this race, Nick. Now it is all up to you to absolutely capitalize, and we will be watching your race closely, Nick, in 9th place. D-Wax in the AlphaTauri is currently in 10th. The 86er is currently in 11th place. S. Buddha managed to worm his way, to squeeze his way into this race. Of course, previously having been a bit late for the start of the one which was glitched, but we're happy to see S. Buddha here in P12 in this race. Tindo is in 13th place in the McLaren, the sole McLaren driver in today's race as things stand. And Man Ray currently in 14th place. Mello heartbroken to absolutely have a glitchy start. Started P2, finds himself in P15, has a hell of a lot of work to do to catch up to the top runners. Loveness is currently in 16th place, having pitted in that first lap. Lungs in the Red Bull will also be kicking himself. Was hoping to get a good points haul today, but currently in P17 at the back of this grid. Zotal is giving that work to Sikle. Zotal can see that gearbox. Zotal is probably going to look to get an get a line on Sikle. Of course, you can see him peeking on the outside there, but not quite getting it done. This is the slowest chicane now. And this battle between Zotal and Sikle, who's now having to defend from Zotal, this will be good news for Josh Damnesia, who sets a 141.248 at the lead of this race. What can you do for the rest of it? Well, let's see how things look from Zotal's perspective. Narrow track, slippery track, intermediate tire conditions, as Sikle takes that inside line into the right-hander, and now into this series of S's goes Zotal. As you can hear, he's easing on the throttle there. Not going any higher than fourth here. These are absolutely crucial times of the race. You do not want to see positions. You do not want to slip out of this race so early in the game where so much can change. We're only 4 laps into 27 here in Japan. Oof. And as Zotal takes it easier, that gives Sikle enough breathing room to stretch that gap to more than a second. So it was about 3/10 when we linked up with Zotal and we joined, but Sikle has re-established that gap to about a second now, and it's kind of flirting between, a second, 7/10, 8/10. Zotal closes it to about 7 and 6, about 6/10 now, that gap between Zotal and Sikle. What a prospect of a clash we have here. Let's see Mello's fight back and how that is going. Currently, Mello is looking at getting past Man Ray, as Mello's teammate Nick has slipped out of the points and currently finds themselves in 13th place. And Nick is out! Nick is out of this race! Yellow flag, virtual safety car once again. Mello the Mellow, having slid all the way to the back of this grid, is now his team's only hope for points. Oh, what a day, what heartbreak for Mercedes. Nick has left the session. Nick has crashed out here in Japan. Heartbreak for Mercedes under VSC. That means, to an extent, everybody, of course, has to slow down. And they're not going to bunch up as much as they would under a full safety car. So, Josh, aka Damnesia, will thank his lucky stars that it's not a full safety car as things stand, and he still has a little bit of breathing room. Sabiso asked, "Oh, Nick again?" Sadly, yes, we've lost Nick. If you're just joining us, we have lost Nick, as Loveness earns a drive-through penalty for having sped under safety car conditions. Virtual safety car has ended, and Josh knows that. He would have been paying close attention to that yellow flag and to all those notices coming through from the race director. Oh, Josh! Kind of slid there. Thank you very much, says Sikle. You cannot afford to slide, Josh. Damnesia. Damn, Josh, as he, looks like his front wing kisses that rear wheel of Sikle there. Josh, absolutely in 6s and 7s, in panic mode. It's panic stations for Josh. And Zotal looks to take full advantage side by side, but not quite getting that move done. It's such a narrow track, so difficult to overtake. Josh, the smallest mistake lets Sikle back into this lead here. When Sikle smells blood, he takes full advantage, and he has here again. Full advantage Sikle took. He is back in command of this race, back in command of the potential crown that is the Tier 1 championship. Oh my goodness. Josh with a little bit of a slide there, letting Sikle back in, and Zotal wants a piece of this action too, as he goes into his slipstream, weaving left and right. Will you get a line? Will you get a view? Oh, he goes on the inside, but it is not close enough. Josh is on the outside now. Oh, but Josh looks to have less grip as Seaflay is going to be looking to get another look at the inside line. Oh, what a fight, what a battle this is. Josh, Damnesia giving nothing away. I'm not going to give it to you so easily, Zotal, says Damnesia in the cockpit there. Zotal wants to get this over and done with as soon as possible so that fight between P1 and P2 in the Drivers' Championship can resume in earnest right here in Suzuka. Lap 6 of 27. We saw Josh have a panicky moment and slightly lose traction as we get a yellow flag in Sector 1. Yellow flag in Sector 1. Hopefully not a full safety car as things stand. If you've just joined us, welcome. We're in the 6th lap of 27 in Japan here. It's been a dramatic start. Mello the Mello, who started out in P2, finds himself in 14th place, but we are currently watching this titanic clash between Zotal and Josh. Zotal keeps on taking a different line to that of Josh. Zotal keeps on peaking. How far is Seaflay? How close am I to potentially resuming my battle with Seaflay? Well, you're going to have your work cut out for you. Let's see how Mfundo is doing. It's a titanic battle between Mfundo and Romeo. As you can see here, just 3/10 between these two. Romeo can smell blood. Romeo can sense that P7 position that Mfundo currently holds. And Mfundo, similarly, is, getting close to Bounce, who goes wide, giving Mfundo a chance to get even tighter, even closer to Bounce. As you can see there, he's right on his edge, right on his gearbox. Can he get that move done? Oh, he looks to the outside. Oh, my word. He possibly will be taking that move. Zotal is on the prowl, says Jittery Cursor 88. Let's go back and see exactly how this battle is panning out. Oh, Josh, aka Damnesia, has racked up a time penalty as things stand. So these other top runners, that being Seaflay and Zotal, will have that in their personal advantage as Damnesia goes slightly wide there in that left-hander. And, well, they're all within a second of each other are these top three runners as things stand. No room for error, no room for losing your wing and having to pit and slide down the pecking order here as we watch Josh take a much wider line than Zotal and Seaflay did. So let's take a look at how that looks. Seaflay is no stranger to leading a race, is no stranger to having people put pressure on him, but it's very, very rare occasions that we've seen Seaflay slip up and relinquish a long-standing lead. So the longer this race goes on, the harder these two know it'll be to reclaim that lead, because especially if conditions are going to dry up here in Japan, well, we know Seaflay is absolutely not averse to re-establishing a gap and building that gap. Oh, as Zotal goes on the inside of Josh Damnesia, who has a lot more traction out of that chicane and manages to hold on to P2. Zotal, frustrated, he tried again. He's huffing, he's puffing, but cannot blow this Alfa Romeo out of the way here as they hurtle into the first turn here. Zotal has been looking to get this move done, but it cannot make it stick. He comes close. Oh, Damnesia slides out and relinquishes that position to Zotal, who takes P2 and now has his sights set on Seaflay with just 1.7 seconds. Of course, Seaflay took full advantage of this battle between Zotal and Josh Damnesia here in Japan. What a fight Damnesia tried to put up, but it was not enough. In the 8th lap, he succumbed to the pressure from Zotal, who now has his sights set on Seaflay. What a battle we have had out here in China. Let's see how it is panning out with Mfundo, who has the fight of his life from Romeo, who's been putting him under pressure for lap after lap here. As you can see, Mandla. Oh, we have lost Nick. DNF in Sector 1. We have lost Man Ray. Man Ray has crashed out of this race as the safety car comes out, and Mfundo, well, don't know why he was potentially relinquishing that position to Mandla, who gives that position back, but now Mfundo, has to, give that position away. So now Romeo takes full advantage. 2 drivers have been lost now in this race. Man Ray is gone. He is out of this race, and as things stand, they will now bunch up behind the safety car, as Zotal will possibly be grateful for that. As will Josh, aka Damnesia, here. As things stand, this is your grid in the 8th lap of 27 out here in Japan. Seafway leads in Japan, followed by Zotal in P2. Josh, the Amnesia, is currently in 3rd place. Selby sits in 4th place in that Alfa Romeo. What a day it is for this constructor, for these. Oh, well, as Spizoso looks to go side by side under safety car. I don't know what Spizoso is doing here, trying to race Selby under safety car in P5. Bonds is currently in 6th position in that Ferrari. Romeo Massengo has overtaken Mfundo, who finds himself in P8. Romeo is in 7th place. D-Wax. These AlphaTauris are in close proximity. Is in P9 is D-Wax and S-Buda. That would be, S-Buda in the Alpine, currently in 10th place. Tindo has come into the pits and has opted for a fresh set of intermediate tires and a change of wings as things stand. Mello the Mello is also making his way. Oi! Okay, they kind of ghosted out of each other. That could have been quite a tragic crash in the pit lane. Now, Mello the Mello is in 11th place. Tindo is 12th. The 86er also in the pit lane. Also, of course, going for a fresh set of intermediate tires in these conditions. Now, these drivers will have an idea of how the rest of this race will look as far as the weather is concerned. In their ears, of course, are the race engineers who are, collaborating, liaising with the rest of the team to give the drivers as much information as possible. Lunds also has just come out of the pits. A terrible day for him, and that Red Bull in 14th place. And Loveness makes up the last place, currently P15 under safety car on this grid out here in Japan. Well, just 9 laps in. Dramatic start, dramatic race so far. Who, according to you, will take full advantage of the restart? Who, according to you, has this in the bag? As we see Josh slipping and sliding. Why is Josh sliding up? Well, Josh is just dropping like a stone here. He was P3 and currently finds himself in P2. Tepiso says Bankobi's ancestors aren't working. Well, I'm not sure what exactly happened with Josh here. It's quite possible that he might have hit another car and, perhaps has significant wing damage now and has to find himself back into the pits. What a shame that is. What a day it was, potentially, for Josh. Who's had some really rotten luck in recent weeks as far as races are concerned. D-Wax, who was quite high as far as track position is concerned, has opted to go into the pits. And, none of these other top runners have opted to change. Everybody up to Josh is on 9-lap-old intermediate tires as we're about, of course, to begin lap 10 of this race. The safety car is out if you've just joined us. What drama we have had. Seafway qualified on pole in P1 and lost the lead to Damnesia, who then relinquished the lead to Seafway and relinquished P2 to Zotile, who finds himself in that P2 spot. Selby has taken full advantage of all the drama in front of him and has worked his way up to a potential podium place. Now, Selby is no stranger to having clean, consistent, drama-free, incident-free races to finish with a healthy points haul. Can you potentially get that podium, Selby? Well, it would be fantastic if that was the case. Spizoso now finds himself P4. Of course, after a couple of drivers have pitted and things have kind of switched up here as far as track position is concerned. D-Wax is out. We've also lost D-Wax. Well, Man Ray brought out this safety car, and now D-Wax is out of the race. D-Wax and that AlphaTauri out of the race here in Japan. Oh, man. Well, we'll probably have an extra lap under safety car conditions as Bongs illegally tries to overtake Spizoso there. Was probably coming in too hot into that corner. Bongs is in P5. Romeo is now in P6. Mfundo and the AlphaTauri is now the only hope to get points for this team. D-Wax has crashed out just now. S-Buda is currently in 8th place. And Josh, the Amnesia, has had a day to forget here, having started so well, having qualified so superbly. Now finds himself in P9. Tindo in that McLaren is 10th. Mello is 11th as we get the notice from race control that the safety in the flat. The 86er is now in 12th place. Lones currently finds himself in P13. Might be hoping for a point haul here. He's close enough to those points, as is 11th in P14, depending on how things pan out. Now, we're getting set. We're getting ready for the race restart here in Japan. What can you do, Seaflay? He absolutely punches it, pedal to the metal out here. Zotao taking no prisoners, not letting that gap spread any farther than 4/10 of a second between P1 and P2. But these top two have already built a 1.4 second gap to Selby in P3, who is fighting off Spizozo. But let's just see exactly how Zotao fares in this battle to claim the race lead. Of course, under safety car, all these drivers were able to save battery power and not go too hard as far as that ERS is concerned. Zotao now six-tenths that gap between P1 and P2. Seaflay really looking to take full advantage and not give Zotao any hope that he can claim this lead. Of course, this is as high as Zotao has been since qualifying started. He qualified in P3, did Zotao. Now finds himself fighting Seaflay, fighting to get this race win and delay any thoughts of a championship celebration as far as Seaflay is concerned. Of course, these two are the championship protagonists, the top two as far as the Drivers' Championship stands. If Seaflay wins this race in Japan and perhaps gets another podium, and of course that's assuming Zotao stays P2, then of course we will have a new winner in the form of Seaflay in that Ferrari. But long way to go. It's 27 laps of racing here in Japan, and we are only 11 laps in. Let's catch up with Spizozo in their battle between themselves and Seaflay. The battle for a podium place. As Spizozo, as you can see, he was taking a peek into that outside line of Selby. He's just a 10th now going into the first corner. Oh, and of course, these curves are narrow enough to make you think twice about trying to overtake throughout these S's. Of course, it would be very, very, very risky to attempt an overtake and to attempt anything that's too risky. As of course, Spizozo is looking to fight Selby, but he has Bombs to think about now, who has squeezed that gap to just, well, 3/10 as things stand. Spizozo is chasing down Selby, and Bombs is chasing down Spizozo for good measure. Oof, really takes liberties as far as the track limits are concerned there, Bombs. He has already racked up a time penalty, has Bombs, and now he's really looking to take a bite out of that P4 spot that Spizozo currently holds now in this 12th lap of 27. There's an epic battle, meanwhile, between Mfundo and Romeo, who have been jousting, battling for this P6 spot. Romeo really comes close and has to go wide there, having almost lost his wing to Mfundo there. And Mfundo really, really fighting. And now Romeo, having done that, has brought Espuda into contention here. They're almost going side by side. Are these two? Oh! Was that a little bit of contact? Oh! Whew! Was that a little bit of contact? Oh, Espuda has managed to keep his wing as things stand. So that was absolutely super, super, super close between these two. And they're going to be duking it out, fighting it out for the rest of this race here. Lap 13 of 27. We are in Japan here, and we are watching Mfundo looking to hold Romeo off, not give him any hope of taking that P6 spot. Mfundo is his team's only hope of gaining points here, and he himself is thinking about finally getting this move on Bonds done. But you're not going to do it here. It is way too risky in this S section. On such a slippery track in these conditions, you are not going to risk it, Mfundo. He's got to keep his head here, and Bonds knows that all he needs to do is just keep that car in the middle of this track, and Mfundo will have absolutely nothing to do about that. Oh, going slightly over the curbs there, as does the following Romeo, who is doing super, super, super well to give Mfundo a lot to think about here. He's sandwiched between cars who are so close to him, is Mfundo. Looking to take full advantage here in this second sector. Oh, man. as they're about to find their way into the start of the third sector. Oh, and Fundo comes really, really close, as does Romeo. But it is too narrow. You just can't get this move done. Romeo goes wide. Buddha, can you take full advantage? No, you cannot. Buddha. Now Josh is in the reckoning now in this fight for P6. Oh, Romeo, another bite of the cherry here. And Fundo goes off track. Bongs comes into P4. Full advantage. Taking full advantage does Bongs over there of that slip up by Sparzoso, who slips all the way to the bottom in that Aston Martin. My word. One mistake, one slip, one slide, and you are out of the reckoning for points potentially. And you're going to have to fight your way back from the back of the grid, as has Mello Lamelo, who will be catching up with in a matter of seconds. But now we are watching Zotal, who has kept this gap to less than a second between himself and Seaflay. Yellow flag is out in Sector 1. What does that mean? Is it just a yellow flag in that sector? Nothing else? Okay, thankfully, no BSC, no full safety car as things stand. As Zotal has kept this gap to less than a second. 5/10 it is now. This gap between Zotal and Seaflay. Bongs is still in it, says the real composer in the comment section. What a day it would be for two Ferraris to be on the podium once more here. It would be absolutely an absolutely stunning day if Bongs can get that result for Ferrari. Mallow is back in the points. Yes, Mello the Mello is in the points, as the jittery cursor says there. Finds himself in P9 as things stand. Oh, but this from Zotal is absolutely stellar. He's not giving Seaflay any room for comfort whatsoever. But Seaflay being Seaflay, he manages to set the fastest time, as you can see on your screens right there. Zotal just 5/10 this gap between P1 and 2. He is not giving Seaflay any breathing room whatsoever. Bongs, 3 seconds. Romeo, 3 seconds, as you see. And Josh get that P4 spot. Selby is doing quite well to keep, 3 seconds clear of Bongs. And, of course, Mfundo is going to look to be the one keeping that pressure on Selby, as Empato says Zotal is keeping up the pressure on Seaflay. No room for error has Zotal. Oh, the gap into that slow corner was all the way down, of course, to 3 seconds. Zotal. Oh, is that a slip and slide by Seaflay? Zotal manages to make sure. Oh, Seaflay side's out! He's out! What can you do, Zotal? Can you take full advantage? Oh, woo! Looked like Seaflay came off track there, but Zotal was not managed to take full advantage here. Oh, man. Wow. What a start to the race it's been. Lap 15 of 27. Oh, my word. In just 2 laps time, we will see the marker for just 10 laps to finish this race. And, as Seaflay goes quite heavy on the curves there, Zotal makes sure he is right there to potentially take full advantage. But that gap is stretching now. Was there perhaps contact between these two on that, that angle? We did not see any contact as far as these two are concerned. But now that gap is stretching. Seaflay is managing to keep that gap at about a second. And as you saw a couple of laps ago, Seaflay was able to take, Seaflay was able to keep his car in that P1 position. And, not necessarily lose any semblance of the lead here. But Mello the Mello has had a nightmare of a race, starting having qualified P2 and having found himself all the way at the back of the grid. The back of the grid. Now finds himself in a fight for P6 potentially with Tindo. So Mello the Mello, what a recovery drive it's been from him. If the track dries up and Mello the Mello is able to come into the pits sooner than the rest, if he's able to take that gamble, we might be having a different conversation as far as the fight for a potential podium or even race win is concerned. But a lot of work to do here with just 16 laps gone out of 27 out here. As you can see, the time penalties are stacking up for all these drivers now. Brakeaway has not pitted. Zotile has not pitted. And as we watch Mello the Mello look to get himself out of this sandwich in between Tindo and Loveness, who's following closely behind. But there's an epic battle between Josh and Bombs as things stand. Who's looking to take full advantage as Zotile sets a fastest 140.178. What can you do here, Josh? You find yourself side by side here against that Ferrari now. Now, Selby, among the front runners, is one of the first to come into the pits. What will you do? What choice will you make? A fresh set of intermediate tires, which might suggest to me that these drivers probably have intel that most of this race will be a rainy one. Well, as things stand, these top two have yet to pit. And with all the pit action and all the drama of people slipping and sliding out, Mello the Mello, who was at the back of this grid, has fought his way up to P5 and is currently locked in a battle for P4 with Tindo and that McLaren, who has also had an absolutely fantastic day as things stand. Just 10 laps to go, Tindo finds himself in P4 and is fighting off this Mercedes of Mello the Mello. But now, it looks like, Mello the Mello's gone, Tindo has actually relinquished that position to Mello the Mello and Loveness. They were side by side as things stand there, but Mello the Mello takes full advantage and finds himself in P4 now. Espuda is out. Espuda has crashed out of the race. That Alpine is out, bringing out the yellow flags. Will it be a safety car, though? Espuda is the fourth driver to crash out of this race here in Japan. Brakeaway leads. Will that bring out a full safety car? Third sector. We'll wait to see. Now, these drivers are going to have to be careful, of course, in the third sector. Zotile being Zotile, that gap is back to within a second between himself and Brakeaway, as you can see. Yellow flag in Sector 1, no safety car, no virtual safety car. We are still racing as they make their way past the 86er there. Tapiso already giving Mello the Mello a shout for driver of the day. Of course, Mello has pitted just once, and these top tier runners, being Brakeaway, Zotile, and Bombs, have yet to pit. That is your top three. That is your grid as things stand. It is Brakeaway currently leading this race. Zotile finds himself in second place. Bombs 14 seconds behind. In P3, Mello the Mello has worked, hustled, fought his way all the way up to P4 as things stand. Do you agree with Tapiso? Is Mello the Mello your driver of the day? Loveness has worked his way all the way from the back of the grid earlier to P5. Lums, what a day potentially you're having, finds himself in 6th place, having been languishing at the back of the grid earlier. But now, Loveness is side by side with Mello the Mello and gets that move done on the outside of Mello the Mello, taking the risks, sending the car, not giving anything in as far as risks are concerned. Loveness gets that move done on Mello the Mello. What an overtake that was. Absolutely stunning from Loveness, who finds himself in P5. Lums is now P6. Selby is 7th, having just pitted for a fresh set of tires. And Fundo, also in a newer set of tires, P8. Romeo was 9th. Oh, as Loveness goes wide there, as we just saw. Spinozo is 10th. Josh, the Amnesia, 11th. A new set of tires, as is Tindo, 12th place, and the 86er, 2 lap old intermediate tires over there. What a move that was from Loveness to get that overtake done on Mello the Mello, who will now be looking to fight right back and reclaim this P4 spot. Now, these top 3 runners have yet to pit. How are their tires looking, I wonder? Are they starting to feel that degradation as far as grip is concerned? Are they starting to get concerned as far as, overheating, is concerned? Well, not so much overheating, because the rain is definitely still falling here, even if it is light rain, as the safety car has come out. We know that Espuda had crashed out some time ago. The safety car has come out, and presumably this is the perfect opportunity With a 19-second gap between P3 and 4, this is the perfect opportunity for these top 3 drivers to come in for a fresh set of tires. Ben Colby in the comments says Mello may even lead this race, as of course these guys need to pit, but it is a free pit stop now, safety car. Brilliant drive from Mello, says Lakoa. Serious damage limitation. 100% agree with that. Now, Sequay, you lead this race. Bongs is fighting for his life, says Guillermo Maverick in the comments. Of course, Bongs, 18-lap-old intermediate tires. Yes, Sequay will come into the pits. Zotal, yes, will come into the pits. Bongs, what will you do? Well, Bongs still has some time to go. And, well, nobody taking unnecessary risks with slicks as things stand. Both the top runners are into the pits. Fresh set of intermediate tires. Well, that would suggest that they have been told that these conditions are likely to continue either to the end of the race or until very close to the end of the race. Now, as Bongs comes into the pits, who takes full advantage? Loveness works his way to P3. Will Mello the Mello? Now, Mello the Mello is also in the pits for a fresh set of intermediate tires and will stay in P5 behind Bongs. But, well, that is subject to change as different drivers are passing that pit lane. Now, let's take another look at how things stand. Under safety car, perhaps we will get 2 laps at most under safety car. So as things stand, we would have 5 laps of racing, of hard racing to the end of this race. Zotal will be hoping to claim the race lead. He has not yet led this race. And Zotal, of course, if he claims this race win, will delay any thoughts of championship celebrations as far as Seaflay is concerned. But Seaflay leads the Japanese Grand Prix in lap 20 of 27. Zotal is currently in P2. Loveness is currently in 3rd place. What a day it is for Loveness. Even though they have that time penalty, currently in 3rd place. And what a job Loveness has done out here. Selby, always consistent, hardly racks up time penalties, hardly crashes out of races, finds himself in P4 as things stand. Bongs has fought valiantly, gallantly among the front runners, finds himself in 5th place. M. Fundo has racked up a time penalty. That AlphaTauri is currently in 6th place. Romeo sits in 7th place. Well, we saw that epic battle between Romeo and M. Fundo a little bit earlier on. Lungs, you are in the points, having been languishing at the back of this grid for quite some time. By Zozo, we saw him have that spin earlier on. Overtake with Teppo says it's still way too wet for the slick tires. Indeed it is, and that's the intel that the drivers have got, is that these conditions will probably persist for quite some time. Mello the Mello, who was all the way at the back of the grid, and like Lakoa said in the comments, did some damage limitation to fight all the way back to P4 at some point. It had to pit for a set of fresher tires. Should Mello the Mello have pitted? His tires were about, well, they would have been about, about 10 laps old by now. Do you think Mello the Mello should have stayed out with those tires? Or do you agree with his position to pit, having found himself in P4? Well, Tindo is currently in P11. Josh Damnesia, P12, and the 86er is at the back of this grid. The 86er, as you can see on your map on the bottom right of the screen, still has about the start-finish straight to catch up to the rest of this field here. Well, what a race we've had out here in Japan. We're hoping for about 5 or so laps of proper hard racing as we watch the 86er here with that bright turquoise crash helmet. Slowly but steadily making his way back to the rest of the field here. Jittery says Mello's tires were 7 laps old, I think. Well, perhaps he could have carried those tires for quite some way. Perhaps he could have hung on and taken them to the end of the race. But Mello the Mello opting not to take any chances, and we will see how Mello the Mello's tires might have performed when this race restarts. And our case study will be this man, Loveness. We will see how Loveness holds off Selby in P4 and how Loveness does in his pursuit of Zotile in P2. Van Kobe reckons it was a bad call by Mello Lomello to come into the pits with those tires, which were not too old. But, it seems we agree on that front. He perhaps could have carried those tires as Loveness is doing here under safety car as he goes slightly wide there as we're waiting for the race restart. Well, speaking of this man, Loveness, what a day potentially would be for him. What a day would be for Loveness if he manages to hang on and get a podium position here. We know he's no stranger to managing his tires. We saw Loveness put on a masterclass of wet weather driving as far as taking your tires to the limits is concerned. We saw that out in Austria, and maybe he's backing himself here to manage these conditions one more time. Now, of course, Loveness in the Drivers' Championship finds himself currently in 8th place on 94 points as things stand. All right, of course, we're looking to get straight back into racing action here. Seekley maintains this race. He's been punching it down that straight, as has Zotile, and of course, they have been pushing this battery, trying to build some sort of a semblance of a gap from the driver behind, but he has not managed to stretch that gap to about a second and beyond as things stand. Seekley has hardly been under too much pressure as far as relinquishing this race lead is concerned. We saw Josh, of course, have a scorching start and snatch that lead before Seekley fought back when Josh made that mistake early on in this race, but he has currently held right on and has built a gap that is now at about 9/10 to this man, Zotile, who is fighting right back, looking to get straight back into the reckoning here in this fight for the lead of this race. 5 laps of hard racing to go. We hope that we can keep things as is and not have another safety car inducing incident. Let's see how this epic battle between Mfundo and Bonds is going on now. The gap between these two is about 7/10, but wow, my word, it is not relenting. It is an entire train. Of course, these cars having just been backed up. It is an epic scrap, as you can see. Lungs just 2/10 behind Romeo now, giving Romeo a whole lot to think about, giving Romeo a whole lot to do as far as defending this is concerned, as Seekley breaches that 40-second barrier. Goes 139.697 does Seekley. Well, this is Lungs in the other Red Bull, looking to take full advantage of any slip up from Romeo, aka Mandla, is concerned now. Let's go on board now with Lungs and see what things look like from his perspective. Look at that train. It is Mfundo and Bonds and even Selby that Lungs can see in the distance there, but his eyes are fully fixed, fully focused on that man, Mandla, Romeo, in that P7 spot. So it is going to be absolutely tight, but can you get it done? Of course, at some point, this gap between these two cars are about 2/10, as they take it easy, no room for error, as you see these drivers going onto the curbs there, but none of them taking liberties enough to act. Oh, it's right off as we lose Romeo. And Zozo points. Oh, a huge crash by Zozo. We saw him absolutely lose that car. Brings out the safety car in lap 23 of 27. And Zotile, who was looking to overtake Seekley, will not get that move done. A huge crash in lap 23 takes by Zozo absolutely out of the Japanese Grand Prix now. In lap 23 of 27, he becomes the 5th driver to retire, bringing out the safety car, which might just leave us with 2 or so, maybe 3 laps of racing. Oh my word, it might be just 2 laps of racing as things stand if we have 2 laps. Disaster, says Jittery. Skimpy in the comments says yo and has his hand on his head. Oh my word. The fifth driver that we have lost now in this race, Melo the Melo coming into the pits, serves a time penalty. And, well, a new set of tires. Perhaps, I don't know why Melo the Melo came to the pits there. Maybe he suffered some damage, but while he figures, well, with just so few laps to go, I'll take my chances with a fresher set of tires. But Melo the Melo goes all the way to the back. But oh my word! Lunga in the comments says, geez, Aussie. Well, yeah, look, it's been a dramatic race out here in Japan. Seafleet currently holds the lead. P1 with just 3 laps to go, but of course, at least one more of those laps will be under the safety car. Zotile has huffed and puffed and held on to that P2 spot. Loveness is clinging on to P3. We'll take these older tires, these 14-lap old tires to the end. Selby finds himself in 4th place. Bombs is in 5th, and Fundo here is in 6th place in that AlphaTauri. Lungs, Zotile's teammates, and pretty much these two, along with the Alfa Romeos, are the only, and indeed the Ferraris, are the only teams which still have both drivers on track. Romeo in that Alpine recently lost his teammate, of course, Espuda, and or rather Romeo in the Williams is actually on track with their teammate 86er in Romeo's in P8 and 86ers further down. Tindo here in the McLaren is in 9th place. Josh, aka Damnesia, had a scorcher of a qualifier and finds himself in P10. And the 86er, 11th, the Melo de Melo, in 12th place as things stand. Lap 24 of 27 that we still have to go here. We have to get the safety car back in. We really have to. We really want to see. Well, it wouldn't be unusual for it to end under safety car, but as things stand, of course, we definitely still have to at least the final lap. The final 2 laps we have to get under racing conditions. Well, Kaboza, it's not exactly clear. From our vantage point, we just saw Spizozo's car, because we were following the driver slightly behind them, a couple of cars behind Spizozo. All we saw was Spizozo's car literally going, just crashing out quite violently, and it's quite possible that Melo the Melo was also involved in that crash, as we saw him coming into the pits. Well, Gamma Maverick says Melo the Melo battled this race. And, well, yeah, a bad day for Melo. Nightmare starts. But now Melo has just 2 drivers to overcome if he is to finish in the points. There are just 12 drivers left in this race. Now for Tier 2, this is unusual conditions because these drivers are so, so good a lot of the time. And, yeah, they are the standard bearers as far as Breakaway F1 is concerned. But a lot of them will be scratching their heads. A lot of them are at risk of slipping down to Tier 2. And the likes of Van Kobe, who you see in the comment section, the likes of Tamayo, the likes of Taipo Tamba, are the Tier 2 drivers who are looking to take full advantage of any slip-ups once they make their way into Tier 1. Of course, the real Kaboza, also in the comment section, is in contention for a potential playoff place, and will be looking to represent we'll be looking to be a former Tier 2 driver in this league as soon as we begin our new season. We are under safety car, 25 laps into this 27-lap race in Japan, and as you see, the safety car is in this lap. We'll be watching how that man Seaflay keeps Zotile off his neck. Look how closely they're bunched up. Zotile taking no prisoners, taking no chances. As soon as this race resumes, Zotile is saying, I am on your tail, I am on your neck. Now knowing Seaflay is going to look to take full advantage. As soon as he exits this chicane, Seaflay will punch it. Will punch it. Looks like Zotile might have been taking liberties with track limits. They are back underway. As you can see, he punches that battery, does Zotal, as does Seaflay, looking to get the advantage into the first turn. Jittery Cursor says Zotal for the win. Cheering on the Red Bull driver is Jittery there. And that gap has not managed to be anything substantial. Just 0.3 between these two now. Zotal keeping a cool, calm, steady head. He can smell blood here. Any slip up from Seaflay with just one more lap after this one to go, and the race win is possibly his. But Seaflay is absolutely killing it into the slower corner they go. But of course, none of them going, any further as far as track limits are concerned. Zotal must send it, says Bankobi in the comment section. He absolutely is. Just 0.4 the gap between these two. Let's hop on board with Zotal and see how things look from your perspective. Come on, Zotal, what can you do here now? You are right on his tail into the slow corner. That red light is flashing. Of course, in these conditions, is to give other drivers a heads up. Bongs crumbled under pressure again, says Gamma Maverick. Bongs finds himself in P9. Further back on this field here now. Bongs has slipped all the way back to P9. As Zotal can smell blood. He's now on the inside. He's on the inside. Will they make contact? They go side by side. And Zotal has the inside line to the chicane. Oh! And will he get that move done? He's ahead. But Seaflay comes back. He comes back into that second sector. He has to go. Woo, that was close between these two. But Seaflay is so clinical, as Lunga says over there. But Zotal is looking to bite right back here as Josh has crashed out. That was that yellow flag that we see as we start this final lap. We're into the final lap of the race, and Zotal almost had Seaflay's number there. He almost had it. Zotal is hanging on for dear life. It was that Bankobi move, says Tapiso there in the comment section. Well, oh my word, that was so close between Seaflay and Zotal, who was looking to take a bite out of that. And that battle has brought Loveness back to within a second of these two. Loveness, if you can hold on here and build your gap to Selby, then we're talking about a potential point finish. Tapiso says, I told y'all Josh would bottle it. Well, unfortunate for Josh there, but what a fight it's been from this man, Seaflay, as he's making his way here through the second sector, looking to start the third. He has held off all comers. He has held off Josh. He has held off Zotal. Mello the Mellow was supposed to be the one putting up the fight, but now he had a nightmare and finds himself now on P9 as he makes his way through the second sector. This is one of your last chances, Zotal, to take advantage here. Both these drivers are punching that battery. There's no DRS in these conditions, so you're going to have to get this move done, Zotal. Can you do it? Can you do it? Yes, you can! He takes the lead, Zotal, in the final part of this race through the chicane. Zotal has taken the lead. They're both punching the battery. They're both punching it, but Zotal has taken this race in Japan. He wins in the final few corners. Zotal says, no, Seaflay, you will not celebrate a title today. It's my race. It's my win. It's my result. In absolutely stunning style, this man, Zotal, is punching the air, is screaming, I've lost my voice. He's probably lost his voice in that Red Bull. What a move it was from Zotal to claim that race win. And I'm so out of breath, I forgot to update you on how the rest of this field finished. What a move as the 86 wicket driver of the day. But oh my word, Zotal finishes first. Seaflay finishes in second place. Selby hangs on to finish on a podium. What a day, what a clean drive, what a absolutely brilliant day it is for you as we watch Zotal point to the crowd and celebrate there and halt Seaflay's title charge. Oh, that was classic. Absolutely classic. Loveness finished in 4th place. Lungs finished in 5th place. M. Fundo finished in P6. Romeo was 7th. Mello the Mellow finished 8th. The 86er 9th. Bongs was 10th. And Tindo rather was the 86er 8th. Romeo 9th. Tindo 10th. Bongs was 11th. The Amnesia 12th by Zozo 13th. And of course, those are the drivers who did not finish this race. Who was your driver of the day? What a move! What a final lap overtake that was from Zotal. Oh my gosh. I'll be looking to get these drivers into this party chat to, I am absolutely out of breath. I just want to hear these drivers' thoughts and get a sense of what the heck they are thinking and feeling here. Oh my gosh. What an end to this race here. Whew! Zotal Driver of the Day says, and Kasana, Loveness for Driver of the Day. And a lot of you fire emojis, screaming emojis, bomb emojis as you watch. Zotal says Nakusa Duma in the comment section. What a stunning end to this race we had, as the first driver to join us here in the comment section is the championship protagonist who put up a hell of a fight and unfortunately heartbreaking fashion was overtaken by Zotal there. But congratulations, Ciclay, P2. I can imagine it's heartbreak and disappointment at the end of the race there. What exactly happened there? Was it just a matter of, was it a slight slip up, or was it just a matter of a wily overtake from Zotal there?
It was wild bombing. Actually could have turned in, but chose not to, so I'm not stealing up the race.
Yeah.
It was very dangerous.
Ooh, your thoughts? You were literally, this could have been, the race where you're pretty much, you're in touching distance. How you finished to the championship, to that driver's championship trophy. It's going to have to spill over now into this next week. How on earth did you see that race panning out from your perspective? And I can imagine your targets have not changed. You're always looking to win the races, and that's exactly what you're going to do for the last two races.
Yeah, that's the goal. Carry on pushing for that.
Well, it's we commiserate with you for that final lap overtake. We know that you'll definitely be back fighting, pushing, and giving all these drivers a hard time as you've done for the majority of the season. Selby, congratulations in the Alfa Romeo, finishing on the podium places.
Sanbonani and Sagatweni.
Congratulations, Selby. Your perspective on that entire race, you're one of the most consistent, clean, penalty-less drivers. How did that race go? How on earth did you pull off that podium from your perspective?
First and foremost, in Zotila's words, penalties are immature. So I had to represent the top three, man. So, but more than anything is, I just had to zone in, bro. Like I was so panicking even from quali and practice prior to the race, and I was just glad to actually pull off a result like this. So the moment I actually saw my quali that I was up amongst the top five, I was like, I'm bringing this one home. I had to bring a top five position.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's absolutely fantastic. You did it in absolutely stunning fashion. You were under quite a lot of pressure there in the second half of the race. After the first couple of safety cars, you were battling quite a bit actually to hang on to P4 even before you fought up to the podium places. So that was actually some great going. How was that battle from your perspective?
It was quite a very exciting one because I was actually gauging my pace with the drivers that were behind.
Yeah.
So I was actually defending with the guy who was actually following me to make sure that I don't lose my track position.
Yeah.
And with the final safety car actually coming in is the one that actually just made me to make sure that I stick to Loveness, because there's some turns where he lost a lot of time, and I was like, I'm definitely taking his position from this one.
Absolutely fantastic. Zotal, congratulations. Another fitting, you're no stranger, like you and Ciclay are no strangers to being on the podium. You've managed to take a dramatic lead pretty much in the final couple of 100 meters towards the end there. From your perspective, was it risky? Were you how close to the limit were you there as you were taking that race lead?
Now, firstly, apologies for this. I think he thinks that was a dangerous move. My intention is never to drive dangerously, of course. But I think after the safety car went in, I had to send it. I think from when the safety car went in, the yellow flags were out. I think the lap before that as well, you guys will probably noticed I tried to overtake him. He was holding the outside line.
Yeah.
And he was holding the inside line on the outside line. I tried, just lost my braking zone there, of course. He had better traction out. The last lap, I was like ERS on the whole lap because I definitely had to fight for the win. Was it a dangerous move? Bit risky, borderline, I guess. But obviously, from where I'm at, I'm obviously chasing the championship. CC currently leading it. Of course, I'm gonna try my best to win the race, and that's exactly what I did. The last lap, I was on the inside. Secret did say that he did stop, obviously because it was a dangerous move. But I'll let everyone decide if it was risky. Was it a max move or not?
In that Red Bull. And Secret, just to come back to you for a second, have you made up your mind whether or not will you be taking this to the stewards for review? As far as you're concerned, or is that something that you're going to discuss internally in the team? Have you made up your mind as far as that's concerned?
We'll discuss that internally.
Oh, we'll discuss that internally, says Seclay stoically here. Gentlemen, I cannot begin to express what a dramatic race this was from the beginning, absolutely, to the end. Seclay, you're within touching distance of that trophy. Zotile, you are grabbing Seclay's ankles and slowing him down as much as possible. And for us, the viewers, it is absolutely fantastic to see such dramatic, such insane levels of racing from all of you. Selby, it's so good to have you on the podium, flying that Alfa Romeo flag high, managing your car, managing these conditions. What a race it's been. Thank you so much to all of you. We will see these drivers in Tier 1 racing for our next race on Tuesday at 7:30. But remember, before that, our Tier 2 drivers are driving on Monday at 7:30. So thank you very much to all of you for joining us here. This has been Tier 1 Racing of Breakaway F1. Congratulations, Seclay. Congratulations, Zotile and Selby, for your podium place finishes. Thank you very much, and good night.
Good night. Cheers, mate.